Oh, hello, it's hashtag Ask Lauren. All right, I'm doing Ask Lauren, obviously. Snickles is here. Hello. I'm blocking him though. Last week when I did the Watch Me Eat Lunch reading YouTube comments, I said to leave hashtag Ask Lauren questions in the comments. So I'm just gonna go through and answer questions. Haven't planned, don't know what I'm asking or what I'm answering, I should say. So this will just be a compilation. Oh, there you are. What are you gonna do? Oh, here, let's get right into this one. Sam S. said, I know this is a very personal question, but I'm curious if your view/choice of kids has changed since the last time you've made a video answering that question. Okay, I'll find that video somewhere and link it below, but yes. I don't know what I said last time. I guess I said I didn't want kids. I'm sure I said that. I still lean to that side of not wanting kids. But the but is that, and I don't know if I even got into this in that other video. I can't remember what I said. But what has happened in the last, I guess 6 years or so since I started, 6 years since I started meditating and kind of getting into more of the spiritual side of things. I feel like I always receive messages from, I get readings, I talk to intuitives, I have energy healers, I do all of this kind of stuff. A lot of that I don't really talk about on here because some of it's personal, it's health related, and it gets so deep and a little bit out there that I actually don't feel comfortable talking about it here. But anyway, a lot of the messages I receive from the universe, from source or whatever, and from other people who are reading that energy is that I am going to have kids, and that I've gotten very deliberate, clear messages from people saying I'm going to have a girl. I've been told there's a girl waiting and that she's okay if I don't decide to have her in this lifetime. So if any of you kind of, I guess, speak that language, you know what I'm talking about, is often that there is that soul or that energy of the child kind of waiting, and they choose you because you choose your parents. And I believe all of this, and I've had other friends experience this type of thing, and they have the exact kid that some psychic or some medium or some intuitive had told them they were going to have, that was waiting there to kind of come into this physical manifestation of life here. So I've received a lot of messages, even in meditations that I do by myself. I receive a lot of imagery or messages from that type of energy. So I don't know I think my answer has changed in the sense that I'm a little bit I don't know. I've evolved in the last few years to a person who would never talk about even the idea of having kids to someone who actually talks about the idea of having kids. So that's shifted, but there's a big, huge part of me that is very, very, very selfish and doesn't want to do it for many selfish reasons, because I want to be able to do what I want to do when I want to do it without having to worry about someone else. So there's that. It's a lot of very maybe kind of superficial stuff. Maybe. This is enough responsibility for me. Or that's how I feel. A lot of me also feels like a child in a way, so I don't feel capable or ready. And to be honest, without getting, I also don't want to get too deep and psychological, but I think I have a lot of hang-ups around having children and having a family based on my upbringing and whatnot. So, I'm working through all of that all the time. I'm sure you've gathered by now that I do a lot of self-work. And I'm always exploring and I guess uncovering more truth about myself. So I don't know, as that goes on, I feel like it gets closer and closer to sometimes having very clear messages that having a child would actually, I guess, fulfill more of my purpose or something. So I don't know. I'm still in I don't know. It's almost here's actually what I think. Is that I think that there is something in my vortex, or there is some deep, almost unconscious desire for it that I haven't caught up to, with this person. You know how I talk about you have to catch up to the version of yourself that you're kind of put into the vortex or that you want to manifest. I feel like that's a little bit of what's going on with this kids thing, is that I'm just not catching up to it. And Natalie and a lot of my close friends are very certain that I will have kids. So look, I don't know. Let's leave it at that. Although I did get this this is turning into a whole pregnancy thing. Maybe this is part of the manifestation. Oh God, okay, undo, cancel. Just kidding. But there was this DM from somebody today. I'm gonna read it. I won't say the name though, maybe just for personal reasons, but I got a DM, which I don't think this is creepy at all. I think this is so interesting that like, here, I'll just read this to you. Completely random and slightly crazy, but I had to tell you I had the most vivid dream about you last night. I dreamt that you posted a video saying you had a big surprise in store for everyone, and then you panned the camera to reveal that you were pregnant and were going to film the birth live. First of all, I would never do that, and you did. You had a beautiful baby girl and named her Olive. They say that when you dream about having babies, it's not really about babies, but about giving birth to new ideas. So maybe you'll have a new idea, or maybe I will because I dreamt it. So, first of all, on one hand, it's incredible to me that like, and I have dreams about people I don't really know either, but like when you dream about someone, like who knows where this person even lives, halfway around the world. It's like crazy that like someone is having this dream about me. Now look, she probably just watches my videos a lot, so I'm in her psyche, I'm in her subconscious. And I do agree, I mean, I've had a lot of dreams about holding a child, having a baby. Recently actually, I had a dream that someone left a baby on my doorstep and I like had to adopt it. It was a boy. I don't know. I do think having dreams about babies isn't necessarily about really having babies, but you know, there is a lot of new ideas birthing for me with the business, so and with my life and whatnot, so maybe that's what that all means for me. I'm not saying that means that for her about me, but anyway, that's interesting. Okay, so let's stop talking about this kind of stuff, because like it's just putting too much of it out there. That's where you can see my fear and insecurity about this coming in. Street Angelic said, can you still do recipe videos in the old format? So I probably won't do those anytime soon because I'm kind of streamlining the way I'm doing Hot for Food right now just for the interim while I am doing a cookbook, because I'm doing a second cookbook. So, and I'm doing it for this whole year. It's due February 2020. So truthfully, I probably won't, but I still have some ideas in my head, and I obviously still want to do recipe at some point. It's not going anywhere. That's my freaking concept, man. So it's not going away. It's just not coming back anytime soon because I don't have time to shoot the videos like that. That's all I'll say for now. The book, though, I don't know if I said this in the last video. I want the book to incorporate that element of recipe. So, you know, using up the leftovers and things like that. So that will be integrated into the cookbook. Hopefully, ideally, that's how I see it happening. I've got a lot of questions about this. Ellen Michelle said, when you move to LA, would you consider doing a collab with Jenna and Julien if they were down? This is my YouTube dream. Well, I mean, of course I would consider it. I want to do that, but like, I'm not going to force it or like, you know, whatever. So we'll see, I guess. I don't know. I feel like they're pretty private and they probably don't want that to happen, but maybe I'm wrong. I've tried to connect with them when I've been in LA, but I'm usually only in LA for like a very short amount of time, so it never really works out. We'll see. Obviously I want to. That would be so cool because they make my food all the time and it's amazing, and they bring so many viewers over to Hot for Food. So thank you, J&J, and I love the cooking segments, and Julian's like upped his cooking cinematography lately, and it's really cool. So whatever. I'd also be happy if they just kept making my food and talking about Hot for Food and, you know, whatever they're just doing organically. I don't think we need to force a collaboration necessarily. I know like audiences get so like amped up about stuff like that. So obviously it'd be cool to do it for you guys, but anyway, we'll see. You just keep bugging them. You don't need to bug me about it. Go bug them about it. Okay. Oh, this is a good one. Rhea Dolly, do you think you would / will, winky face, share a relationship on social media again? Okay, so fine. I did post a photo around Valentine's Day. It was not planned. It was not premeditated. It was not like, I really didn't think about it. I really didn't think that many people would care that I posted that, but you did. And it was the most popular post I've ever posted. And the easy answer to that is no, I won't really share it on social media again. So while I have dropped a couple of hints and now you've seen something that you can make your own conclusions about. I don't want to rope someone into all of this the way it was before. And so that will never happen again. John is not replaceable for Hot for Food. Hot for Food is me, and it's evolved, and it's going to remain that way. And I have no interest in really displaying that part of my life on social media. So I don't know if that's a total bummer for y'all. I think on one hand, I could be that person who did do that because I know it would be popular. And I think a lot of people do that. And I don't want to play that game. So I'm doing what's right for me as a person, not as a content creator or as a YouTuber or anyone or anything like that. Yeah, I just don't want to play that game. And I think I easily could, but I just don't want to. And that wouldn't be authentic, and it could all blow up in my face. So I'm just going to do it differently than I did before and see what happens. Do you know what I mean? That's all I can do. You can learn from before and do it again. Maybe there is a little bit of like trigger around that because of how much I displayed it before, and it was so much part of what I was showcasing from the beginning on YouTube. And I don't regret doing it. But I just don't want to do. I have no desire. Here's the thing. If I just think about how I feel, I just have no desire to do that again. So that's all. Okay. Susan Oliveira said, what's your favorite thing about living in Toronto, and what's the thing you're most excited about to live in LA? Okay, so favorite thing about living in Toronto. I mean, I really love Canada, and I have no intention of like abandoning Canada or like not like throwing away my Canadian self. I think it's very clear that I'm Canadian and I want to be known as a Canadian. And I'm not trying to escape it, but I am trying to escape the horrid winters, which I despise and I have my entire life. So as much as I don't want to be that person that's like so affected by the weather, like I just am, and I just got to deal with it. So the reason I'm moving to LA is like mainly for the weather and like the lifestyle. Like I just want to be in a place that is mild and sunny and near the water, and just a different style of living than I think here. Not that drastically different, but a little bit. I mean, it's beautiful in Toronto in the summer, but it doesn't get that, like, we don't really get, it's not that hot really ever. For a little bit of time it is. And then I'd go into the winter having to make my cookbook, and I just don't want to do that. So I'm specifically going so I can like thrive like with my life so that I can make the best cookbook possible. And then we'll take it from there. My intention is to kind of be coming back and forth, like live in two places at the same time kind of for part of the year, and then maybe come back to Toronto, maybe live in LA. I mean, I would be on a 3-year visa, so the intention would be to live mostly in Los Angeles for 3 years. And so I'm just excited for that, like, I guess that change of lifestyle, a change of scenery, a change of weather, having more access to I guess nature a little bit. Yeah, that's really it. I love Toronto for many reasons, but I'm not sure that it's like what I know, but I don't know that I have like this like great affinity toward it. The thing obviously I do love about Canada is like our political system and our security and our safety, and I just feel like it's a very easy place to live in Toronto, and I have it very good, and I'm so appreciative and grateful and everything. I think there's a little bit of could be, I don't think in my case there will be, like I worry about it being harder living in the States, obviously being a Canadian, in terms of like insurance and medical stuff and like building credit and all of these things, which they're not problems. Obviously everything will be fine. But anyway, I think the the rewards outweigh the risk. So I'm giving it a go. Hannah Patterson said, have you still had difficulty keeping up the meditation routine that you wanted to after the January retreat? So I talked about how I went to the Vipassana meditation course in January, and that the goal that they want you to do is meditate 1 hour in the morning and 1 hour in the evening, doing that technique. And no, I have not done that. I've been meditating mostly every day, still pretty much the way I was before I went. So 20 to 30 minutes a day, combination of the Vipassana technique and listening to Abraham. So that's what I was kind of doing before anyways. So I'm pretty much at the same place. But I feel good, and I don't really I'm not really worried about it anymore. I think since I last talked about my experience of Vipassana, I have like let it go a lot. I'm not so like entangled in it and what it means going forward and what I'm supposed to do or not supposed to do. Like, I think I was really a bit getting attached again, you know, to the actual technique. And now I've just like, I've let it go. You know, it's something I can always come back to, and it's something I'm doing, I think, all the time in a greater awareness, just noticing sensations and noticing reactions to things. And that's like all I can really ask for. There's like nothing more I could expect from that one experience, right? A lot of people are asking about bringing back the food challenges to Hot for Food. Luciana said, I like the challenges, I miss them. I understand John's not there anymore, but can you bring different people in? So I don't know if I've addressed this before too. I may have in a very quick way, but they are a lot of work, and especially bringing in someone I don't know that well to do them with me and trying to arrange that production wise and it's just not going to happen. So like, of course, doing it with Timmy would be fun, and like when I'm with him maybe we could do it, but I'm not going to make any promises. Once we did do it over Instagram, actually, when I visited him in Mississippi a long time ago. If you remember that vlog, you can go watch the what I ate in Mississippi. I think there's 2 parts or 1 part. Anyway, so I did that with him over Instagram. We did the unicorn noodles, or the pink noodles with cabbage juice. So anyways, but it's not going to happen on Hot for Food. It's just not something I can sustain in terms of production and whatever. So I guess that's that. Chloe Walker said, I found Abraham Hicks because of you and have learned a lot. What are your thoughts on the deity undertones? Sometimes it seems like it leans toward religiosity a bit. Am I missing the mark? Okay. So Abraham Hicks, in case you don't know, you can just search Abraham Hicks on YouTube and all of the seminars will come up, which is a woman named Esther Hicks channeling source, and they call themselves Abraham, and she's been doing it for a long time, and she runs conferences, and I'm going to a conference very soon in the United States, so you'll hear about that soon. So she's channeling, and I actually don't find it to be religious, because they don't actually, like, she actually talks about how religion is the opposite of what the teachings are and that people get it wrong. From what I've listened to, I don't hear much talk about religiousness or God or anything. So I don't know what you're referring to, Chloe, but I think too sometimes listening to something like Abraham can be very jarring for people if they have no reference for any of this language, I guess, when it comes to like connecting to source or alignment or meditation and things in that realm. Then you can be like listening, you know, you're kind of just resistant to Abraham because you're like, what are you talking about? It goes against everything you've been taught from the very beginning, to live in a limited way, basically. So it's so expansive and so broad and so high vibrational that if you're not at all near that, then you're really like, turned off by it. But I think it takes a little bit of getting used to. It wasn't the first thing I ever had access to. You know, I had already started on a bit of a spiritual path. I was already meditating, and then I found Abraham, so I think I was a little bit closer to the, like, it right away was like the most resonant thing for me, and it's like taken things to another level by listening to it. So I think give yourself some slack about listening to it and don't be hard on yourself, but give it another shot. To me, it's the opposite of religion. I get maybe, you know, if you listen to it, you could interpret it also as like, oh, is it cult-like or something? But it's just speaking a universal truth, and it's speaking about universal laws, and it's speaking about the essence of who we are and why we're here. And to me, that's like, I don't see it from the perspective of like trying to rally anyone or being cult-like like that either, or even the way religion can be kind of cult-like and sanctioned and whatnot. It's not like that, you know. It's for everyone. It doesn't discriminate. It's whatever. So anyway, give it another shot. If it is my religion, I mean, it's the thing I listen to all the time, every day, and it's the thing that aligns me, and it's the thing that I understand. It's a language I understand. It's a vibration that I understand. To me, there's really like, it's not just Abraham. Like, everyone's saying the same thing. That's the thing. It's like, it's not like what she's channeling is different from what someone else is channeling. Like, people are channeling all of the time, and that's just it. Is like, you're always, if you're tapped into source and you're in alignment with who you are and your highest self, then you're channeling also, whether it be making a cookbook or making music or writing books or writing anything, or public speaking, or, you know, taking care of your children or going grocery shopping. Like, it's about kind of trying to always like adjust and be aware of where you're at vibrationally. So this isn't like, it's not anything, you can get really wrapped up in like the teaching or like having to do something correct, but that's not what it's about. It's not about there's right or wrong or good or bad or anything like that. It's about like finding that clarity and that like alignment. I can't use any other word other than alignment, so that everything you do is with purpose and clarity. So anyway, that's the gist of it. If you are just hearing this for the first time, then you can go check it out and listen to it. And I've gotten so many comments from people saying that they've been turned on to it and it really resonates for them, and that they wouldn't have known about it if I didn't talk about it. So the only reason I talk about it all the time is because I just feel like it's so important and beneficial to connect to something at that level. Maybe Abraham isn't your thing. Maybe it's Deepak, or maybe it's what's her name? Pema Chodron. There, I was like having a tongue twister. There's so many, teachers, or there's so many people. I can't even think of them all right now, but I like read and look at lots of stuff, not just Abraham, you know? And that's the thing I've come to realize, is that it's all rooted in the exact same principles. You know, choose your drug. Hansy. Oh yeah, Hansy. I've answered questions from Hansy before. Do you still enjoy being a YouTuber? Does making videos still give you pleasure, or does it feel like a job/chore? I ask because for me, whenever I try to turn a hobby into a job, it takes the joy out of it. She's from Scotland, or he. Actually, don't know. They are from Scotland. Okay. Yes, I completely understand the idea of taking a hobby or like something creative and then making it a monetary thing, and then it loses its luster and joy. I don't feel like that has happened entirely, but it has happened perhaps slightly. I still like creating YouTube content. I still like the freedom that YouTube gives me. I like that I do what I want. I've built a business around kind of the idea of doing YouTube, but it's not the only component of my business. So I'm glad that I've diversified. This is getting so bright. I'm sorry. Ugh, okay, whatever. Who cares? But sometimes it feels like a chore when, say, it's Tuesday, like it is now at 2 p.m., and I'm like, oh crap, I forgot to shoot something for Wednesday. I was being very lenient with myself about that for a while, especially on this channel where I just wasn't posting. I'm trying to keep up with the weekly posts now that I have some help with Hot for Food on the back end. So, like Hot for Food YouTube, to be honest, at some point, yes, I was getting really burnt out by it. Like, because it's so hard to keep up with the schedule, like the every week thing, like unless you're getting ahead, which I'm just starting to do now, seems impossible. And so that's when it starts to feel like this grind. I think I've nipped it in the bud though, and I think I'm on a good trajectory here. What I don't like though about YouTube is that I don't want to be locked into YouTube, and it kind of annoys me to a point that like all of my marketing efforts stem from YouTube. So if YouTube goes away tomorrow, you know, look, I'm confident a lot of you will still stick around. And if I move things over to like my personal website, that a lot of you would come. But in terms of like social media, it's the only way to reach new audiences. And sometimes feeling like you're a little bit like locked into that in terms of marketing and advertising feels limiting. I try not to get like too wrapped up in that though, in overthinking that, but I think I'm starting to feel this pull of wanting to change things a lot, because I am maybe a little bit bored, which is why there's certain small changes done on Hot for Food, and I'm kind of experimenting on this channel, and I think it'll just always be like that. But that's also at the same time the positive thing about YouTube is you can do that. It's not like I work at a network where they're telling me what to do and I have to do the same thing in a format all the time. So, you know, it's sort of a very clear contrast between the two things, which is good. That's all good. So yeah, it's a little bit of both, right? I don't know if I answered that question very well, but it's a bit of both. I think I go back and forth, but I'm never like it's not like when, to be honest, I've worked in any other job and I'm like, ugh, like I don't want to do this. Or like even in television where I got so frustrated like at so many points that I was like, I really don't think this is for me. Like, here's the thing. I think everything I'm doing is for me. I think I'm really like utilizing all of my skills and learning new skills and really fulfilling who I'm supposed to be and like living that purpose or whatever. And I'm open to how it changes and evolves. Like, I'm not stuck in this thing of like, oh, it has to be this all the time. I don't think I'll necessarily make these exact type of videos forever. Like, I don't know how long that's gonna last, but for now it's working, you know. I like that I've gone into publishing and that I can make books. Like, that's huge. And I like that I'm doing this retreat in Bali and like working on a meditation program for that with Natalie, and like other offerings are really important. So I think that's where the changes are coming, and like that's where the interest of mine is going. So that'll just keep happening. All right, so that was #AskLauren. Leave any more questions in the comments below. Use #AskLauren because then I can search the comments and find them really easily. And where did Snickle go? It's so bright you can't see him. Oh my god, it keeps changing. Snickle, well, there you are. He's sleeping. What else can I tell you? Go watch the Hot for Food video this week because I showed you how to make a tuna poke bowl with beet poke. It's really delicious. And then there's a 3rd grain bowl coming up next week. And then we're making Danishes, sweet and savory. They're amazing. Lots to come. Okay, so follow me at Lauren Toyota, at Hot for Food, at Snickle Says on Instagram. He's getting really popular on that Instagram, gotta say. Good job. Good job, Snickle. Bye.